Hello and welcome back to what we are calling In Nothing We Trust Goes to the Movies. I am Matt. As always, I am with Victor. And we're back for episode 3 of Band of Brothers Carentan. As we all remember, last episode was D-Day. And we saw all of the clusterfuffle that was going on, whether it be... I still don't think we've found out where Simon Pegg is, right?
No, not yet, I don't think.
Yeah, he's still the one that they're looking for. I don't remember if they find him dead or alive, though. I feel like this could be a situation where they find him in a tree dead. But I don't know. They're putting a lot of emphasis on him not being there, though.
Maybe he never comes back. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't either. With that said, let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to be once again starting episode 3 of Band of Brothers. This is not our first watch, but I don't remember a whole lot of it. So it's kind of a first watch because when this came out, we're talking how 10 years ago.
Yeah, we were youngins. Same thing. I remember stuff, but not.
Wait, what year did
I'm
this
picking
come
up a
out?
lot more this time. I think 2001. If I'm
Oh
not
one. So that
mistaken.
you talking about 21 years? Holy shit! I said 10. Fuck.
Yeah, because I was pretty young. I remember watching it at my grandparents' house.
I remember I was fapping it to Cinemax porn, and then I came across this wonderful military drama. Let's go ahead. We're going to jump right into the beginning of this episode. We've skipped all the intros and bullshit. Should be getting right to the actual show. Let's jump in now.
Let alone the next phase or the next phase. I thought I was going to get killed instantly.
I thought one of two things: a quick death, or I'd come through probably without a scratch.
I think everybody had fear. I think there's people that can handle fear. I think I was probably one of them. I think I was just as scared as anybody else, except I could think.
All right, real quick, just talk about the intro real quick. This is an interesting one because you've heard these guys kind of talk about what it was to be in the training and as a soldier, and sort of the D-Day discussion as well. It's interesting to hear these guys talk about, every one of them was afraid. It was just these are some tough sons of bitches, I mean, even the guy who's the one who I believe he's the same one who talked about being, a hick from a small town in the last episode, or the one, maybe the first one.
With the big glasses.
Yeah. He said,
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, we all had fear, but I was able to, basically, he was able to think through it. He was able to control the
Yeah.
fear. Interesting concept. And, it's, these guys are coming out of it, and it's all retrospect. But in the same token, I mean, they're looking at it like, one of the first guys who was talking about, I was either going to get killed in this thing or I was going to make it home without a scratch. That's a crazy
Yeah.
way to look at your life for years.
Yeah, and then same dude. I mean, are these dudes all quarterbacks? Like, I mean, it's the same idea. Like, yeah, I'm scared, but I'm gonna think and throw the ball. And I know that's fucking trivializing it, but I mean, it's the same idea. Stress. I'm able to. That's
Wait,
what we're talking about.
you
I'm able to think through the stress.
you
I
could
know it's not the same stress.
you could see why some of these dudes after they came back from the war had the patience to work in factories and on big rigs and shit like that because like
Yeah,
if shit went wrong, nothing's gonna top being shot at by Nazis while trying to command men and move and get into cover. Like everything after this was probably simultaneously so much easier than the war and harder in the same regards.
yeah, and it's the quick, different point, I guess. But you don't see this with Vietnam vets, really. Um,
Um
I don't want to get into it crazy, but I'm
I,
just thinking like
I'm gonna say the thing we watch after this is Full Metal Jacket. It's some
I'm
Vietnam.
okay with that.
Yeah.
But I just think that these dudes had a clear purpose. They were fighting for a purpose.
And they talk about, yeah, we had fear, but we were trained. The training taught us to overcome the fear. It's an interesting thing to think of a thing like military training preparing you for the fear. Like, they don't go into that much in these movies or TV shows. The psychological part of training, which is essentially,
Yeah, no, I agree.
you're breaking down what is this person, and you're rebuilding them much stronger, potentially smarter, more capable than they ever were. That's what it is. What the goal is to do with every soldier. You break
Yeah.
them down until they're at the base level, and then you rebuild them better. That's the concept. Or more, or you rebuild them more. Lack of a better term, you build somebody who will be servant to you.
Yeah, and that is all it is.
You build loyalty through rebranding.
Subjugation.
Yeah. Although if I've watched Starship Troopers, and I'm at some point there's going to be co-ed showers in the military. I believe in it.
Dang, that'd be hot.
Let's get right in.
Yeah. He just said, "I've been trying to find easy."
Yeah,
That's where
so
I'm at.
what do you think's up with him? You think it's shell shock? Is it just he's still
looks-
just kind of like he's not there, clearly?
No, didn't he already meet up with Easy?
No, Blythe is
was-
he's looking for Easy. This guy's been kind of by himself wandering, I gather.
No, he was with Winners on D-Day.
Well, he got separated.
He's the first person Winners found.
Is that
Coach? Sir, it's Hall, sir. I was on the basketball team.
was that who Blythe was?
Yeah,
So why the fuck is he acting this way?
that's not the way you answer. That's Blythe.
Wait, what do you mean?
When he said thunder and he was like,
Yeah, yeah. Oh shit.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So I mean, I don't remember. Is it just for maybe the fighting they had to do the night before? Why is he also looking for Easy again? Because none of that can't be right. Because he just said this is the first familiar faces I've seen. It can't be the same guy.
That's what I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding it either, because that is Blythe. That's not how you. And he's the one that jokes with Winners.
Yeah, and when they both drop.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not off?
What do you mean?
Are you sure you're absolutely
On this
100?
episode?
Yeah, he's 100% sure that that's Blythe. Like that's.
I mean, it looks like Blythe to me.
Well, that they're saying it's Blythe, but I don't know if it's the same guy from the beginning. I don't remember the face.
I think it is.
Let's see what happens. It's just a little weird because he's clearly.
He reminds me of the dude from Road Trip. That
Okay.
skinny.
I know who you're talking about.
I know it's not the same dude.
So he's clearly.
I'd like to see where this goes.
Yeah, he's clearly in a shell shock state. So let's jump back in.
Because, sorry, I also think he's not from Easy Company. I don't know why he's looking for Easy Company. He was in like Able Company or something.
Maybe that's
and
the whole thing
him,
is he's got to talk to Winners again. That's why he's looking for.
Maybe
Easy.
that is what it is, because they told him don't go and fight in those trenches with Easy. They were like, you go back to your regiment.
He keeps looking up in the sky for some reason. I don't know. It's he's obviously not acting right.
No, and I would say there's shell shock. I would say he's broken, but I don't know why.
Yeah, what's the reasoning?
Yeah.
Let's play. Let's
I'm
continue.
sure it'll unfold.
Let's find out.
My lure's gonna put you all to shame when I get it.
How was your jump?
Well, missed the DZ.
Yeah, that goes without saying.
I guess.
Got any souvenirs to trade? They're all ticking. Unlike their previous owners. Got anything good?
Not yet.
Right.
Yeah, good. Good joke.
That's
I got it.
that's a
Like,
fucking awesome
yeah.
line though. Like literally these guys are shredding Nazis. And fucking
That
he's
is-
just stealing their goddamn watches.
I can tell you from something like from being in construction and shit, it's not the same thing, but that is something somebody would just say. Some shit like that. That's just funny.
Well, I mean,
Rude
these
and
guys, yeah,
terrible.
these guys have no reason to like. This is A, before censorship, but B, these
Yeah.
guys have zero fucks to give when it comes to what they say and what comes out of their mouth.
No.
And why would
And
you?
they're
I mean,
united.
you're lucky they're talking and joking with you, and they're not all fucked up in the head already from the shit they've seen already. You know.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump back in.
And you will be relieved.
Lieutenant, I'll take point.
Cobra Hoover will be lead scout. Blythe, glad you could join us.
Thank you, sir.
First platoon, falling behind Fox Company. You people from second and third platoon, follow us. Shake a leg.
Another thing to remember, boys. Flies spread disease. So keep yours closed.
I got
Okay.
something to say.
Go ahead.
Did you get to where they're all?
Yeah, he just gave his little speech, and they're starting to move out
All right. Did you get to the flies closed?
just now.
All right. That's where I'm at too. There's an interesting thing here. You know that it was forbidden for the German soldiers to have sex with prostitutes or anything else.
Really?
Yeah. And they think that the reason they ran through France so quick is the French soldiers were constantly fucking prostitutes and women of the night, and were like riddled with STDs that they were distracted.
There was rape and shit that went on from the Nazis.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Like when they got to, but it was a thing that they were forbidden. I don't know if they were forbidden from rape. Maybe they were only forbidden.
I think
from,
if
fucking
it,
prostitutes.
Yeah, I think the whole concept was like, don't get a fucking disease during warfare.
Yeah, and it's and they say that the French were riddled with like syphilis and gonorrhea and shit.
How long has
And,
penicillin been around?
I think it was new in the 40s, like 30s and 40s. Penicillin was new.
Got a case
I'm
from
lying.
Mary Jane Rottencrotch? Try penicillin.
But just keep yours closed. That's
I do find
reminded me of that German thing.
I do find this guy from First Platoon, the leader, a little funny. I do find it interesting. He tells him light and sound and tells him not to smoke. Is that just because the red glow? Or is it because the German
that is
soldiers
what that
could
is.
maybe have smelled cigarette smoke as well? Like, is it that sort of thing?
I think it's both. I think the smoke probably travels. The smell of cigarette smoke probably travels farther than the red ember, I would assume.
But I'd imagine if, let's say, you're out in the middle of France, France countryside, you're not smelling much cigarette smoke. But I don't know, the German soldiers smoke.
The Germans
though.
would be smoking too. Yeah.
So
Germans
that
would be
wouldn't really
smoking,
matter
too.
as much, I suppose.
It's probably more of a red ember thing looking at ambushes.
And then you literally have every soldier smokes.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to
And,
jump back in if you are.
Also, now, real quick, that same leader, you see him take a drink out of a canteen and wince.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely drinking.
Yeah, that's not water.
Yeah.
No. All right, let's jump back in.
Paratrooper?
Division thinks there's a regiment of them holding Carentan.
Well, there's one less to worry about.
Yeah. That's Edelweiss. That only grows, in the Alps above the tree line. Which means he climbed up there to get it. It's supposed to be the mark of a true soldier.
Quick thing. I'm at the screen that says D-Day +6.
Yep, I'm there. Go ahead.
All right. That Edelweiss thing, that's a same flower they're singing about in the beginning of The Man in the High Castle.
Really?
Yeah, that's the same flower that it's supposed to be the mark of a true Reich soldier.
Well, basically, if you climb up to the Alps to get this flower, and it's a proving grounds.
Yeah, kind of like the same as the Revenant or the wolf in 300. They fight that wolf in the mountains.
Interesting.
Alone as a boy. Yeah.
That's weird because that's ritualistic.
Yeah, no, the Germans were big in it, ritualistic, dark arts.
Call him
pagan.
by his name, Mr. Hitler. I mean, technically, he is Mr. Hitler.
But
like,
yeah, that's just
like
the
if
thing
Adolf Hitler was a school teacher, instead of a warmonger and sociopath, you would have never heard his first name.
No, it'd just be Mr. Hitler.
Mr. Hitler, I have
And
to
there
use
could
the
be
bathroom, Mr. Hitler.
There could be so many Mexican kids named Adolf.
Well, there's a
Instead,
bunch of
they're all named Walter.
there's a bunch of Brazilians, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably.
All right, let's get back.
No,
to
it's just interesting that's just interesting that's what the Man in the High Castle. That's what that song's about.
Well, this is also the first time they talk about the Germans having any sort of paratrooper or anything.
Yeah, they did too. They just never had a launch.
Yeah. This is the whole this is essentially the German version of the paratrooper, and so I'm going to assume that the test paratroopers were these true soldiers.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
after the SS and the
yeah. They were better than your standard. They weren't a German soldier. They were more than just a Nazi. They were a true soldier.
They weren't Wehrmacht, but they weren't Waffen SS either.
Yeah. All right. No.
Sorry, I know that much. Whoops.
Fair enough. Jumping back in.
I need some covering fire. Ready, lads? Okay, I'm out. Gardner, clear that sector on the right.
That is the most manly shit I've ever seen.
The running and whipping the grenade into the building.
Cooked?
Yeah.
Holy fuck, man.
I gotta say, this whole scene is chock full of awesomeness. For one thing, I am convinced that I do like the action scenes the way they're filmed in this much more than I think I even like Saving Private Ryan. There's much more of an up close and personal touch to these scenes that I don't know. Besides the D-Day shot from Ryan, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, this is so chaotic. And you even see the one dude takes that first machine gunner out and another German grabs it and starts firing on him.
Yeah.
It's like, don't skip a beat. You aren't screaming, you aren't nothing. It's fucking fight.
Was that Winters that was screaming at them to get out of the ditch, or was that the other?
It was.
Why'd he take his fucking helmet off?
I don't know if it's the.
What is he doing?
It didn't look like he took it. I don't know. It looked like he took it off.
He looked like he took it off to hit them, get moving. But I don't know why you would do that, considering that. I mean, we've seen several American casualties.
maybe to convey strength. Well, his point was is you aren't safe in this trench. There's machine guns. Get the fuck out. Spread out.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
the fuck out of here.
And what's even crazier is like you do have there's a good minute of hesitation from everybody. Like they all just drop down in the cover or what they thought was cover to not get shot.
And it's not cover. Get the fuck up and get out.
Yeah, 40-year-old Donnie Wahlberg. I'm liking him.
Getting through it.
He's fucking up some shit. I'm digging that. Crazy man with the hand grenade as he fucking literally basically what
Boy,
looked to be
that man shit.
He's like 2 seconds away from it being a suicide bombing. Like with that
Call of Duty, dude.
Yeah, for cooking that fucking grenade. Yeah,
threw a fucking grenade in there.
He's going Vanguard. So far, really digging this battle scene.
House is on the right!
Right there, throwing it looked like to me, I mean, I could be wrong, but the breaking that window and fucking just throwing a grenade in there and a man screams.
Mm-hmm.
Do they know that was an enemy combatant, or is that just some dude in his house?
No, I'm pretty sure the Germans have that entire like house block taken. Because remember, he said the house on the right, like he told him exactly where.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume when we go back to them, they're trying to get to the top floor because that's like the first floor, one of the gunner positions.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting.
It would be funny if it's just some dude who's like, I'm just trying to watch Hogan's Heroes.
I mean, before this, besides using gas, I don't think there were that many war crimes.
Your war crimes in World War II were mainly soldiers who were giving up and being murdered.
Like we talked about earlier in an earlier episode.
Yeah, which we've seen, I think, once or twice already.
And then using poison gas I know that was outlawed after World War One.
Well, that was one of the things they potentially thought attributed to Hitler was he was exposed to the gas in World War One and it fucked with him. And that was one of the reasons why in World War II, that was part of the whole thing is he said they were not going to use chemical warfare because he was caught up in it in World War One. That's the big thing about Hitler is he was incredibly frustrated by the loss of Germany by World War One. He blamed the entire political regime for World War One's loss, and that's what ended up happening is he took them over, he became more popular, and then the people thought, well, we got fucked in the ass pretty hard for the first one, maybe we should get behind him. He seems to know what he's talking about.
Yeah, he was staunchly against biological weapons. Actually, the rumor is that he was told he could have a nuclear weapon before we could, and he said, no, I don't want to do something like that.
Interesting.
That's not traditional warfare. It's a thing I've heard. Well, he could have had it first.
There's a line in Starship Troopers where the girl goes, well, my mom said always, violence begets violence, and or you can achieve peace without violence. And he's like, tell that to the architects of Hiroshima. And it's like that. That I don't know if that's necessary. I don't know if peace is the right word, but it sure put an end to the current plans of the old Japanese folks. Ready to jump back?
Actually, nope. They actually say that there's a battle between the Germans and the Russians where all the Germans died and all the Russians died, and there's like no reason why. They're just like, I guess, like fuck it.
Okay.
And they think that the Germans launched like some small scale tactical nuke, and Hitler saw what it could do and said like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Interesting.
Is a thing I've read in a couple of places I've heard.
Fast forward 28 years or 27 years, and we're napalming our own men.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's a little fucked up that Hitler looked at nukes and he was like, oh, it's a little too powerful, no? Like, even he was like...
a little out of line.
This seems a bit like Endgame, no? It seems a bit much.
I want the whole world, not...
Well, he didn't...
destroy the whole world.
This was, he's like, I would like to live in some of it. This was before America did everything bigger and better. Like, we went from making nuclear bombs to supersizing things.
Big Macs.
Yep.
Bigger Macs.
Yeah, we were basically at one point in the 80s and 90s, America was like, you know this cheeseburger? And they're like, yeah, it's delicious. Do you want double the meat? And it's like, sure. And then at one point, the double Big Mac was this fucking big. Now, don't get me wrong. You can get those burgers in burger places, but you really, there's not many fast food burger places that gives you a burger this fucking big anymore.
Yeah. And it's like, well, hold on. Do you want a burger? Yes. Do you want Thousand Island? Yeah.
More lettuce than meat? Uh-huh.
And that's where we are today.
I still, if I go to McDonald's, it's a McDouble with extra pickles, extra onion. I don't eat anything else from it.
Yep. I get a McChicken and I add pickles.
So I don't hate the McChicken, but I basically use it for an OCD palate balance. So like, let's say the rare occasion I eat McDonald's, it's usually 2 McDoubles and 1 McChicken.
And you eat the McChicken in between.
Exactly.
Brother, we're on the same page.
Exactly. Cleanse it, get some spicy a little bit from the McChicken, the coolness of the mayo, and then right back into that greasy little fucking McDouble. With that said, America, let's jump back in.
Smash it! Grenade! Boss, come on, boss. Come on. Close behind. The kid.
Dude, you were right.
On what?
Have you gotten to the part where he kicks the door open and it's a family?
Not yet.
Play ahead, you'll see it. It can't be much farther from where you are.
Yeah. All right. He refused to throw a grenade.
Kick the door and it's a huddled family.
Also, right before that, that dude is yelling. He is a German soldier, but he's running out of. He's saying McSheezen, which is don't shoot.
Which, yeah, I mean, I guess you could look at it like he still had his gun on him. If you wanted to play blind.
The fact that you could pull out a pistol and fucking shoot him in the head, tells me that dude was not a combatant.
Yeah.
War crimes weren't a thing yet. Besides, I think gas.
When did the Geneva Convention? When did that first start?
I think it started after World War I, but they constantly added shit to it.
Yeah,
because
but
napalm's in the Geneva Convention now.
Prisoners of war was a thing during World War II, though.
Yeah, and that McSheezen is don't shoot.
Yeah, so that's technically a war crime.
Yeah. And then there's no soldiers in this house, as of yet, that we know.
So theoretically, was that first grenade a soldier? Or a familia? We've already pitched one grenade in.
I think this is a different house.
Is it? Well, it's all the connecting block of houses, yeah.
Yeah. Well, because they built row houses. I mean, these houses have stood since like the 1500s.
Not after this war.
What's wild about Europe?
Yeah. That is one of the coolest things that I don't think Americans fully grasp is the history behind. And that's why, like, you come to America, everything kind of looks like the ghettos in every state look the same. The niceties of the inner money cities look the same. You go to Europe and the architecture is so old that it's like this one looks different than this one, and this one's being held together by this. You know what I mean?
No, and like you have an apartment here and an apartment here, and there's a door in between them.
Yeah.
That like they could fucking like knock on their door and be like, and not even be outside and be like, hey, what's up, dude?
Yeah. Also, a lot of these houses had the communal bathrooms and shit.
Yeah.
Whereas like 4 families to 1 bathroom.
Yeah.
Not a pleasant way to live.
No, and they probably also have outhouses. Like that's a thing too.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
Probably 4 families pulled together to put a toilet in. And it's like, oh, if you just need to piss, you still go outside of the outhouse.
Yeah, that's why we put it in there. You think we have money to waste the outhouse?
Yeah.
This is war. All right. You ready to jump back in?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Come on, boy.
Alright. Yeah, your expression tells me the same thing I paused at. This is really the first scene of graphic violence we get from the show.
Yeah, I think we just saw a dude's feet get blown off.
Yeah, and then the next scene over, which you might have paused right before, is they show his dismembered leg. Which,
Yeah, I didn't get there, but I saw his feet staying on the ground.
yeah, this really
And
is
he
the
launches.
like we've had war violence. Well, we really haven't. We've had blood, but I think this is really the first like D-Day Saving Private Ryan type violence we've seen in the show, which is I'll show
Yeah.
what I can.
Also, there's a character arc here. I just remembered,
Of Bloods.
and I'm not gonna. Yeah, and I'm not gonna spoil it.
So I'm just getting the feeling it's either he's injured and hasn't told anybody, or he's killed someone. Those are the two theories I'm going with.
Okay, I'm not gonna say anything.
Good man, let's do it.
I remember it. All right.
Hey, buddy. You're okay, Lip. Everything's right where it should be. Come on. Up, see Daisy.
I'm gonna bring this up here. Just pause it.
Yep.
Men being men, Donnie Wahlberg's worried about his dick.
That's the first thing I thought when I saw the blood down there is no, not
Yeah.
Mini Donnie.
That's what he's staring at.
I mean-
he goes, "Don't worry, Lip. Everything's right where it should be."
The problem with that much
So that means a dude grabbed his dick, just
Well-
to let him know his dick's all right.
the problem with that though is with that much blood you got to worry about shrapnel cutting an artery.
That's what I would be more worried about. But I think he's worried about his dick, and that's boys will be boys.
I also will say, like, how many soldiers ran past that gun or that the German
That's-
position?
Actually, I'm a little iffy on how that was shot because it seemed like they were staring right at Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah, like
They
you
shot
mean
him.
you mean to tell me the soldiers that ran right past it wouldn't have seen them and it called it out or opened fire in any way?
Yeah, I don't. I wanted to bring that up, but
Yeah,
it's bad shooting. That's bad editing or bad shooting. Something.
that's the first scene I think in this where I'm questioning like that doesn't seem like realistic tactics.
You show the rocket going at him. They're right in front of him.
Yeah,
And then
like
that dude runs up and he's like, "Yeah, you're okay."
basically Donnie Wahlberg's like, I can only see 20 feet ahead and not down that direct alleyway right in my line of sight.
Well, even that, he gets blown like straight back from that blast.
Yeah, it's all
And then
one
so-
straight angle. The rocket, where their position is, everything. Or the mortar,
So you
whatever
would
it was.
assume that anybody who comes to rescue him would also be in that direct line of sight, but
Yeah.
somehow not.
How were we not lighting up that crew? Like how
Or
is
how are they not lighting up
yeah
them?
yeah
Either
yeah?
way.
We have the rocket. All right, let's jump back.
They don't
in.
have
Oh.
guns; they just have rockets.
We
Like,
ran
they
out of
have to-
ammunition. All we have is these rocket propelled.
Just one.
Fire when ready. They all sound like the German chick from Austin Powers.
Which is a lady from Carmen San Francisco or Carmen San Diego. Isn't it? She's from something.
I have no
She
idea.
was in other shit. I think she was in Carmen. Like
I
where
just-
in the world is Carmen San Diego?
I just know the chick from the Warriors is in Carmen San Diego. The one
Maybe
who
that's what I'm-
keep on bopping boppers. She's
Yeah.
in it.
We'll tell your CO 506 arrived in force and secured all positions south of you.
Yes, sir. I'll tell him. Come on, fat boy. Let's go.
Lieutenant Winter,
Yes, sir.
is it safe to cross now?
What's that, sir?
Is it safe to cross? We want to move the wounded.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Come on, let's get him out of here.
Okay, so where are you at? Not time signature, but what
just-
just happened in the scene?
Is it safe to cross?
Okay, watch the. Okay, so I'm right there as well. What do you think that's about? Like he's literally standing in the center of the fucking street and nothing's happening, and they're still worried it's safe to cross.
I think that's some kind of CO that is doing things by the book, where Winters and actually right where I paused is where Ron Livingston's like fucking smirking at him, like
they each have
dude's a fucking idiot.
That's where I am too. Where it's like, what the fuck's going on with this?
That dude's a fucking idiot.
Well, somebody's a good CO.
Yeah.
All right. I was just wondering about that. Let's go on.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, it's foreshadowing because the next fucking scene is Winters takes damage from a ricochet.
And I actually remember that happening. I wasn't gonna say anything.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, let's go on. So because watching that in my head as a movie guy, I'm like, that's foreshadowing of something. Like this wouldn't just be happening for no reason. And okay, so all right, let's move on.
Okay, son.
Sure.
Yeah, what is it?
Thank you, sir. I'm okay.
All right. I just finished the conversation between Winters and Blythe. Well, the
what?
Go on.
I'm where Blythe just stood up.
Okay, that's exactly where I am.
All right.
So this is clearly a mental thing with Blythe. What I'm assuming is he felt he couldn't handle it, and he's trying to go home. In the beginning, that's the whole blindness thing, where he's figuring, he says he can't see anything, he'll go home under medical. And I think Winters' little pep talk there basically gave him confidence again.
I think there's a little more there.
Okay.
Dudes used to say they went blind in like the Civil War and stuff too. From like I guess a PTSD type. That's their reaction to it.
So like almost like a walking blackout.
Yeah, kind of.
That's fucked. Okay.
Because if you watch, he waves his hand in front of him, and good acting on Blythe's part.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is, his eyes don't react. He's just dead to the world.
He does look at his hand like, oh shit, I see.
Yeah, like
you gotta wonder. I mean, maybe that's a thing of like, and I hate to equate it to computers, but like, if computers overheat, they'll do thermal shutdown. So it's almost like the brain shut itself down so it couldn't view the horrors of war anymore.
Yeah, like that's more where I don't take it as a thing of cowardice. I take it as whatever he saw fucked him up. And I think something ricocheted off of like the brick right in front of him, and that's when he like sat down.
See,
in that earlier scene when I said
like something hit him.
Yeah.
I also thought like when he shot the shed, you were gonna find like an innocent dead body or something in there, like he killed.
That wasn't him.
Oh, that wasn't him?
No.
Was that the guy that was in the building when it got blown up?
I think so, yeah.
Boy, did that guy
it was. Up. He turned around and like that building got hit.
I thought that when he shot that shed, you were going to see like a civilian drop out of the doorway or something. Because of just how sloppy it was.
Fly comes around a corner and gets against brick.
When he first falls, I thought he was hit.
Or something?
I thought he was hit.
No, he just like leans his back against the thing and sits down and stays there. And that's what I told you. Like I know the character arc. I remember it.
So to me,
I'm not gonna say anything.
To me, it sure does seem like that was almost like a body, like a mental defense mechanism of like, nope, you can't be part of this. It's too much.
Yeah, and I don't know how the rest of this ends up. He just stands up and says, "Yeah, I'm okay," is where I'm at.
Try him too. Let's continue. If you're good.
Maybe just real quick. Maybe he respects Winters that much. Is that Winter says, just, take it easy, Blythe. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, maybe
He's not mad at him.
the
He's
stress
not-
of this. Yeah, because he does say I didn't want to let anybody down.
And then he's like, no, it's fine. Like, you're good. We'll get you back to England. You're fine.
You gotta wonder how like tolerant these leaders were to these men as far as what was like how much did these leaders understand these guys in the war with them? I'd have to presume these like lieutenants and sergeants and shit this wasn't the time to go hard on the men when shit was when they were breaking down, you know what I mean?
Well, also, I think a lot of them like Winters was a CO, not an NCO, and I think the difference is like an NCO was already an officer. Like,
Okay.
they went to West Point and shit.
Okay.
So if I'm not mistaken, like Winters was drafted as well.
Yeah, you come up from as a grunt and then you move your way up.
Right, and he was exemplary already.
But
I don't know if he was a college man or what.
I guess I wonder, like in real life, what the treatment of the men was, especially guys like Blythe, who there's something mentally going on. Like, was it like Winters was, or was it more of a get your fucking gear and get moving type of mentality?
I think this is more on. I mean, I also read the book about this, so I don't remember that much about that because I read it about the same time as watching this, which would be
21
we're
years
talking
ago.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember them saying like the sentiment in the book is the same way Winters is portrayed in the thing.
Okay.
Is that he was understanding, he was caring, he at the same time he was tough. I mean, get the fuck up and throwing his helmet at people.
Yeah, the I still can't get enough of him ripping his helmet off to beat them with so they get moving. I love that.
But I mean that is what you would want in a fucking commanding officer.
And
Get the fuck up.
I guess it does show the character of Winters is he's tough when he needs to be, and he's
Understand.
Yeah, I don't want to say soft. Yeah, like understanding. He's a leader of the men. Like he's a leader for the men. You know, that sort of like the men come first. The mission, then the men.
Another point too is that he starts talking to Blythe, and Blythe doesn't acknowledge him, and he goes, "Hey, it's Captain Winters."
And he was looking for Easy Company too.
And he starts talking to him, and he's not originally from Easy Company.
Yeah, so I don't know why he was looking for Easy. I'm sure you remember it. I still don't know.
The only thing is that he landed with Winters. He was right next to him.
Yeah, maybe he's got that kind of like Winters might be almost like a support blanket of sorts. Yeah.
Coach? Sir, it's Hall, sir. I was on the basketball team.
And we just watched a little further.
What's up?
It's obvious Winters doesn't want him.
Well,
even if he can see.
I don't know about doesn't want him, but unfortunately, with that sort of instability, that's such a liability.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. He's a liability. You don't want him in the field of battle with you. Go back to your company.
I also find it very charming, and I don't maybe charming is not the right word, but like everybody took the doc's words. Like this kid's 19, he's trained in medical, but everybody listens to Doc.
Yeah, he's actually got a bigger role soon.
Stop spoiling. I'm just joking.
That's not a giant spoiler alert.
I find that so endearing that everybody from Winters to everybody, if it doesn't matter how old this kid is, if he says something medically, that's knowledge. We're gonna go with his answer. Yeah. I find that interesting.
Yeah.
Because like, would you trust a 19-year-old with 6 weeks in a field to fucking tell you everything you need to know medically?
No, but they do.
Well, nowadays 19-year-olds can't operate without a fucking cell phone. So
in the military, they can.
No. I've actually one of the things I was talking about, and we could leave this in real quick. Tim Kennedy, this whole one of the main reasons we wanted to go over this. A, we enjoy it, but B, we want to kind of honor people who did fight for our freedoms. Tim Kennedy, well-known UFC fighter, Green Beret sniper, yada yada yada. basically was talking about how the current generations entering military are failing at incredible rates, and he equates it to their bones are softer, they're weaker people, they're softer people, and a lot of it he says as far as the bodies themselves just being weaker is because of lackadaisical shit. And he talks about like when we were kids, you know, you jump your bike off of a you know man-made your little homemade ramp, you do shit where you get hurt, then you get up, you pick yourself up. You were allowed back then to fail at things because you'd learn from
Yeah.
the failure. And his point is essentially that we coddle kids to a certain point where we're making them much softer than they used to be. And I think I think it goes to the point of like once again here we have a 19-year-old who is the medical professional.
And you know, I was gonna bring this up too. I don't know how old Doc Rowe is supposed to be, but it was pretty common practice that the military preferred to take older men at and you're muted.
I'm looking at the actor, and I'd say the actor can't be more than like 24, but that doesn't mean anything really.
I would say that, but I think Winters is supposed to be about 30, give or take.
Yeah. Also, I mean, the way he like the scene where in the episode 2 where he prays, where he'll be a good man and just get some land. I'd feel Winters is probably anywhere between 28 to 32.
And that's a big. There were a lot of 18-year-olds begging to go.
Yeah.
But the military was drafting like specifically older men for better decision-making skills.
Which I mean, we did fucking come in and clean house, so
they didn't want kids. They wanted older men to lead, and then yeah, you can throw kids at a machine gun. That's fine.
well, that's infantry, yeah.
Yeah,
That's where your 18-year-old draftees and enlistees went, was infantry, and then anybody. I mean, I don't think they've gone into what Winters does, but like specifically with like Saving Private Ryan, you had a guy like Tom Hanks, which even if he was been in the war for 4 years, that still places him at like 35 when he went in. He was a school teacher, you know what I mean?
yeah, but they wanted a leader to be a leader, not a kid.
Which is
And
smart
I
thinking.
don't know the age of Doc, but I'm gonna. Yeah,
I mean, he's probably, I don't know, man. It's hard to, maybe 20, 21, I don't know.
I would still guess he's supposed to be young. I mean, he looks young just in the freeze frame.
Yeah, the actor himself is pretty young looking.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, I'm good.
Let's do it.
Dehydration's a soldier's worst enemy. Yeah. Yeah. It's a game, Blythe. That's all. Hell, we're just moving the ball forward 1 yard at a time. Nothing but a game.
All right. That was an interesting conversation between the Blythe and the other guy who came in. Basically tells him that it's all a game. You're just moving the ball forward 1 yard at a time, which is, I mean, it is the same guy who's got alcohol in his canteen.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting outlook that he's got there.
Also, a weird thing to say. I don't think football is that popular yet.
I don't know. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, football had been going since what, the 30s?
Early 1900s, colleges, and then I think the Bears started in like 1918, something like, or 1923, something like that. But it was nowhere. There was like 8 teams in 1940. It's not like.
Maybe he was just a sports buff.
Maybe, but seems like a weird. I don't see that being a thing they would say.
He also seems like a bit of a loose cannon.
Yeah, I think that's where Winters is gonna talk him down.
All right, let's continue.
Or
Yeah,
try to.
I just want to note that the conversation had a weird, like, uneasy tension about it. Let's go.
I'll tell the men to fix bayonets. Not much of a limp.
I'll survive.
How is it?
Hurts.
War as hell.
All right. What is up with this dude? Like, he's like, that's not much of a limp. And he's like, how is it? He's like, yeah, it hurts. And he's like, war is hell. Hey. And then he just like walks away. Like, he seems way too okay with being in the middle of being murdered like potentially murdered at all times.
Yeah, he's fucking definitely going down the rabbit hole.
For real, like, he is just in a zone of like, fuck it at this point.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I like Winters, because even Winters is looking at him like, that motherfucker ain't right, but I'm glad he's on our side.
Yeah,
You know? Alright, I'm ready to jump back into the viewer.
I'm good.
Smith, wake up. Come on, Smith, get up. It's your watch. Smith, it's your watch. Easy, Smith, it's me, Talbot.
What the hell are you doing? That's Talbot. I didn't. God damn.
So why the fuck would you come up to somebody in a foxhole and tap them on the head with your gun? Like, I'm not saying this kid didn't get jumpy and spooked like he should have stabbed the guy, but in the same token, like, why would you approach somebody like that?
Also true. I think that might be bad discipline on both. I think the way they framed the shot and everything too, just kind of a blurry figure in a poncho standing over your foxhole.
I do get that, yeah, and it's, I mean, but also this is one of the young kids. This is an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
This isn't
Yeah.
possibly 17-year-old, depending on what county he lived in.
Yeah, my grandpa went when he was 17.
So yeah, I mean, this could be one of those kids that thought he was doing something good for his country, or got drafted, because I think the draft was at this point, was it not? No, because, well, yeah, they were drafting at this point, weren't they?
They were drafting, but like I said earlier, I think they were trying to take mid-20s and older if they could.
I feel like after D-Day is when they were like, any able body, come on.
Yeah, but I think we're D-Day +2.
Yeah, we're not there yet. Yeah, they haven't fully gone full in yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's all I had to say was, like, I'm not saying, like, they're both wrong, but once again, you're in a fucking war zone, and rather than being smart and stealthy, you're being an asshole and fucking with people. Like, stop fucking around. It's a war zone.
Yeah, what I think is kind of hard to believe too is that, like, as the dude's lunging towards him, like, he's still whispering, "It's me, it's me." Like, I'd be fucking screaming.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, it's me.
Also, I paused it before the outcome, but is he saying he can breathe because the medic needs to know if the lung's punctured, or because his lung is punctured? I don't know yet, but I'm wondering.
Either.
All right, I'm good to go.
All right.
Boom.
Flash?
Thunder. Thunder! Lieutenant Spears, sir.
You're going, Private? Check out the noise, sir. I just came from there. Everything's under control. Yes, sir. Got some nervous...
All right. Real quick, not a big thing, but every time you see Spears, he's basically the angel of death.
Yeah, it's wild, huh?
Like, every time these guys come across him, it's almost like there's this, like, no, sir, I wasn't doing anything, sir. I was just patrolling, sir. And he's just this calm fucking, like, just gave a couple Germans a cigarette and some lead poisoning type. Like, just, I'm going to walk on by. I mean...
Calm, cool, collected.
I'd imagine the dude was like that in real life. Maybe even worse. Because you got to wonder how watered down these portrayals even are. Like, in real life, there wasn't question. He just was a stone cold motherfucker.
That's how I would assume, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we gotta give people a reason to like him. But in real life, he's like, yeah, no, I just killed 10 Nazis. You want to see their bodies?
You guys want to see a dead body?
All right, show me.
We're all scared. You hid in that ditch because you think there's still hope. But Blythe, the only hope you have is to accept the fact that you're already dead. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll be able to function as a soldier's supposed to function. Without mercy, without compassion, without remorse. All war depends upon it.
That's not good for the boy.
Terrible for the boy, but it's hard not to agree with that sentiment. I mean,
Not what that kid needed to hear there, though.
no, and I think the problem is, like, he feels like a coward. He fell asleep.
Yeah.
He didn't try to get back with his unit. I mean, he's clearly terrified of everything. Not good for the boy, but I mean, I wonder how much of that sentiment was in the military. Like, how many of those dudes out there that had been in the fight for so long just had that, like, I'm gonna die. I'm not worried about it. It's more about how many I take with me.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, the problem is, in wartime, you want a guy like Spears. You want a guy that can go running through enemy area with double fisting hand grenades and tossing them at them and storming artillery gunnery, and getting the rest of his team killed except for him. Sure, maybe you want that in war, but
I don't think you want that in war either.
The problem with guys like that, though, is like they're not going to be able to function in normal military life post-war.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to be able to go career because the shit they did you can't teach. And civilian life, I mean, what is that guy supposed to do? Go be a postal worker? Like, what does a guy like Spears do post World War II? But exactly, right? Like, that's the thing that nobody thinks about is, like, in every war, what are the dudes that have just entrenched themselves in the violence in order for them to survive physically and mentally supposed to do when they get back to civilian life?
Yeah, I don't know. I've worked at some places with some dudes that were iffy.
Like, that's the thing is, like, they train them to kill, but we don't train them to survive in civilian life again. And if you go in at 18 and you do 2-3 tours during a war, your entire growth cycle is violence at that point for 4 years minimum, if you don't re-enlist.
I mean, again, too, I know I do. I've listened to a lot of, the special forces guys and stuff on Joe Rogan, where, or other podcasts as well, but they seem, pretty well adjusted to the fact that they're a killing machine. But I think that comes along with their training and stuff.
I'd also argue, even though, and I'm not trying to cast negativity on it, but there's an ego element that they enjoy as well. It's a certain elite. I mean, in my opinion, a special forces dude is an elite status, right?
Yeah.
Like, it is something. If you're special forces, like, it's one thing to say, yeah, dude, I'm Army. Yeah, dude, I'm a Ranger. Yeah, dude, I'm a Marine. I'm a Green Beret. And then it's like, yeah, well, we're kill squad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, I do believe with the, like, and it's not a big part, but there is something to them where it's like, no, this is who I am. I'm whatever my rank is, whatever my name is, special forces. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I just think, like,
but they've earned
I don't know if they look at it like, sometimes you hear some of the dudes talking, it's almost like, they talk about going into battle and like, this is why we practice. This is game day, boys. Like, it sounds just like football players, like, on Sunday doing a pep talk.
Well,
they're like, this is why we practice, boys.
And maybe that's why people, like, maybe that's why guys like me love Michael Bay movies and everybody else hates them. Because he gets the chatter right.
Yeah.
Like, in his movies, whether it's Bad Boys 2 or Transformers even, the Between the Boys chatter is on point, and, like, people hate that for some reason. Blythe's in the foxhole. You at the same spot?
Yeah.
So, we'll start off with him. I feel like the way they represent Spears as kind of the abandon all hope, ye who enter here. They show Winters as the hope. And I feel like that whole scene is Blythe choosing Winters, the hopeful idol. If Winters is going, I can go. And of course, I think that final scene where he does that pretty decent shot is very much in his own mind redeeming himself for his past failure.
Even the earlier one where Winters grabs him out of the foxhole and makes him start firing, and he's looking up at him like he's his daddy.
Yeah, he's like Jesus Christ came back and he's firing an M1 Garand.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. I was gonna say about the same thing. Just the constant encouragement too, and actually with Winters just the whole time running behind everybody, and
Yeah, that dude did not stop moving that entire battle sequence. Like until he got to Blythe, and then he posted up and was just firing.
And they didn't show it. I'm sure he left them and moved on once he saw him firing.
Yeah, this scene, I mean, this whole battle sequence is pretty grim to start. Our boys are getting hammered pretty fucking hard. Then we get some tanks that show up. Now, spoiler alert, our boys show up to save the day in the Shermans. Did you notice the one guy on the M60 on top of the Sherman, that the expression on his face was like he could have been watering the lawn?
I was going to tell you what a bad motherfucker that
Dude, that guy is fucking... That's one of the dudes that Spears wants to team up with, because literally, he is mowing down Germans. And he's just got no expression.
They show that dude more, but they show another guy too.
Is there really?
That's wearing like a bomber jacket, and he's the same way. He's just stone-faced, fucking firing.
And it's just incredible. Like literally, he's watching the morning news. It's the same fucking expression. I kept in my head laughing to that one dude just
thinking too about just something like that, and the almost athlete you would have to be to keep your balance on a moving tank
for real, like
fire a fucking machine gun standing up.
It didn't look like it was hard for that guy at all. Just.
But you would have to be an absolute unit, or is it just a thing to squeeze the trigger and hold on?
I think it's
just
about
hold on for fucking dear life and fucking fire.
I think good core strength does help. Like if he was a wrestler in high school,
yeah,
that sort of thing. You could clench all your muscles.
He also looked like a bigger dude.
He was a thick man.
The dude wearing the jacket looked real big.
I have to go back and see that because I was so focused in on that one dude with just no expression.
They showed him a lot.
Yeah, which made me laugh every time. There is a lot of action in this scene. I'll be showing some just kind of across the screen above us. Doesn't really need the audio behind it to fit it in. There's not a whole lot of story development here at all. We do some of the shots that are pretty gnarly, or the dude losing fingers.
There's a couple I wanted to bring up there, like that you never think, like you never really see in war movies, and that's like the dude taking a ricochet off a gun and fucking ripping all his fingers off.
The guy in the kneecap. You don't see many kneecaps. Yeah. The guy underneath the tread of the tank.
Yeah.
That one was fucking... Oof.
That one too, I was going to bring that up just because I know a little bit about armor. And if there were if there were 3 or more tigers, because that was the only tiger I saw on that battlefield. If there were more tigers, they wouldn't have ran from the Shermans. Or I don't know, it might be early enough in the war that the Germans don't know. But later on in the war, Shermans are no match for a tiger, and the tiger pilots know it. Or
well, that's why you got to gang up on them.
Whatever. Yeah.
You got to outnumber them, outflank them. Sherman was all about strategy. But how the fuck how did we not have the stronger tank? Like, how did the Nazis have that extra bit of spice?
Well, it was faster, it had a bigger gun, and it was armored better.
Yeah, just like the Volkswagen.
I mean, really. Well, it's all angles. It's all...
See what you're saying is the Germans are better at the geometry?
Yeah, I mean, look at the fact that their machine gunner's behind a fucking steel plate, and ours are standing on the back of a turret.
Yeah, our dude's dick's in the wind, and they're
machine
just
gun with no helmet on.
like the machine. But I will say, our machine gunners are so much cooler. Like you could tell the one dude had a pack of smokes under his sleeve. Like no Germans did, and if they did, fuck them.
I don't know.
I don't
I don't
know.
know about German rations that much, but American rations, cigarettes were one of them.
Good. There needs to be something. If Blythe smoked, he'd be better off. He wouldn't be such a fucking basket case.
Now I want to see. I was at the point where like he collapses in the foxhole.
Yeah, it's right after he shot the Nazi.
Yeah. Do you think he's having a crisis, or do you think he's blind again?
Oh God, I don't know. I was hoping that he was gonna be a soldier, but I mean, a guy like this at this point, don't you have to like just get him the fuck out of there? Like not even for
I would think so.
Not even for his mental health, but like for the unit. Like he's a liability. This type of shit will get people killed. I don't know. He does have that, like, literally the image I am paused at. He's got this stupid "I'm blind again" look on his face. Either that or he's seeing the Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know. He might be having an existential crisis, but
Let's find out.
I don't remember. I don't exactly remember the storyline.
I don't either. I don't know. I don't have any place for it. Let's do
All right,
it.
I'm good if
Ready?
you're good.
Yeah. All right, just real quick. That's gotta be pretty terrifying if you're a German soldier who comes up against an American wearing one of those flowers. Like if I was an American troop, every one of those I came across, I'd put in there, and I'd have a whole roll of them. Instead of basically, it would be the equivalency to ears in Vietnam.
Yeah. Also, I smirked at myself. Like, what is he tracking a fucking deer?
Yeah, the whole sequence was a little like, where's the Nazi blood gonna lead me?
Is this like is it Red Dead Redemption where like you can go into like searching mode and it shows you the blood trails?
Highlight the animal trail.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It's kind of funny to me. But I'm good.
All right, yep, let's jump back in. Yeah, I just found it funny that, like, I didn't even think about that, but I wonder if that went on where it was like you just had Americans with a bunch of them in their lapel thing area there as just like, yeah, this is how many of your elites I've killed.
Yeah, was that? I'm having a hard time remembering. Was that just a German paratrooper thing, or was that like a special?
No,
I thought it was paratroopers.
I'm pretty sure it was. I think it was paratroopers, but it was also soldiers that went to this mountain and retrieved the flower from the mountain. So like the ones that passed the test, which I don't know if that was all soldiers. I doubt it. I'm assuming that was just a specific, either just the paratroopers or whatever.
Yeah, I might have to look that up. It was the Edelweiss flower, right?
Yeah.
That's that song from, we talked about that.
Yep. All right, let's go.
Collins, Elliot, Blythe.
Wow, no happy outcome for Blythe, huh?
No, probably suffered too.
Yeah, no shit. Probably died of infection or some shit.
Yeah, almost makes me regret the joke I was gonna make.
Are you still gonna make it?
Yeah.
Go on.
You've watched Arrested Development, right?
Yeah.
You know the plot line where Buster's got that hook?
Yeah.
And he keeps losing it, and he's like, "I'm a monster." And I think it's he's still in a hospital bed, and Michael's visiting him, and he makes a bunch of hook jokes, and like so Michael makes one, and he goes, "Get him out of here!" Like all of a sudden it was a problem. And like the way they're talking about Blythe with the multiple purple hearts that one dude got.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he's like, he only gets one, and they close the curtain.
Yeah, as the sheet slowly closes.
If he like fucking panicked and like did the same shit, that was all. Sorry.
We found out that Malarkey got promoted to sergeant.
Yes.
40-year-old Donnie Wahlberg's still with us. The main cast is still with us.
Yes.
The final scene with the left behind laundry of dead soldiers. Quite a grim reminder to Malarkey just how many men they lost.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up, but I think Meehan might have been a dude that was at boot camp with them.
Really?
Yeah. Also, we're seeing at that dinner the guy that Garnier pulled to the side.
Yeah.
And was talking to. Those are new, fresh out of boot camp dudes. They didn't jump on D-Day.
Also,
that's why they have no clue what they're talking about and all that. They're replacements.
Those are potentially draftees and shit like that now. Well, they're out of boot camp, but so they're not. But I do how the whole tone changes for everybody who finds out they're going back. Their smiles go away slowly but surely.
Yeah, I feel bad for.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, old Donnie Wahlberg having to relay that news.
40-year-old Donnie Wahlberg
with all of the higher ups talking about it, then they push him in front.
Yeah, basically, go tell your men or the men.
Yeah.
The one guy literally, because he had 3 purple hearts, he gave one to the dude who was stabbed by the one guy, the friendly fire stabbing. Yeah, he's like, we fixed it. Yeah, you don't get one because it was friendly fire, so we fixed that. The one dude that Winters was talking to before they went back to England, the one that was sleeping with the cigarette hanging out of his mouth. What is with that dude?
He's just a drunk.
He was the same one I was talking about earlier. That it wasn't Spears, it was him who was just like, I'll tell the boys to fix the bayonets.
Yeah. No, but he is the one that's always drinking.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, that's the one he's with in his canteen. Got ya. He just doesn't give a fuck. But then I do find that conversation with him about sending the parachute back home for the silk for the wedding dress. That's funny. You know, because of the shortages and all.
Because of the rations.
Yeah, the rations. Very grim ending on that one, especially like we know that there's going to be more death. It tells us that they lost 65 men before they were pulled on the front line. Quite a grim ending on that one, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Also, going to that house, poor Blythe.
You know, the whole time I'm watching it, I didn't remember what happens with him, and I'm like, this dude's he's dead. Like, there's something going on with him. He's going to get shot, and sure enough, as they approached that, I was like, there's a sniper somewhere. Or I was actually expecting the wooden doors to open and just MG fire lit up the area, something like that, maybe.
I was thinking going to clear a room and there's just like a German with a bayonet.
Out of nowhere, maybe a giant plant that eats him. But no, I knew from the beginning Blythe was a goner.
A random Venus flytrap.
Yeah, exactly. Just roar. What happened to Blythe? Dude, he was eaten by a fucking plant.
A jungle plant. It was weird. We're in France.
I'm never coming to France again. They got people eating plants in this fucking place. But yeah, I mean, a lot of it is, there's still a heavy amount of buildup. I mean, we're only in episode 3, but, you know, we had a pretty good battle sequence here. I have a feeling in the next few episodes it's going to be a bit rough for our boys.
Yeah, seems like they're sending the best back to the front line.
Yeah, because they were so good at holding Easy Company, or holding the line before Easy Company's going back in, which I don't know how many of these guys I want to lose. I like them all. Definitely not 40-year-old Donnie Wahlberg. I love him.
No, yeah, I love Donnie Wahlberg.
Maybe David Schwimmer will come back and he'll get killed. Give us a hoorah. Don't, yeah, I know. You probably remember things I don't, you fuck.
No, I don't think he dies. They do see him somewhere, though.
Alright, he's just lost in the jungle. I don't know why he's in the jungle, but... Alright.
In the desert.
Any final thoughts? Yeah, well, that makes sense for Africa.
No, I'm just excited for the next one. That's my final thought.
I am too. Only a few days this time.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. You could check. You're watching this one on YouTube. You also can check the video and audio versions out on Spotify. Also, check out the other podcast we do. Oddly enough, it's called "In Nothing We Trust," and that's a variety of current events. So politics, media, anything really. Yeah, weird tangents about grilling and smoking meats.
Yeah.
You know, normal guy
Music.
stuff. Music.
Video games.
Yep.
Movies.
Yep. Check.
Yep.
Debauchery. Meh.
Yeah, sometimes. Mayo versus Miracle Whip.
Miracle Whip wins on half of the things. Mayo wins on the other half, I think. Is where we are in that one.
I agree to disagree.
What are you talking about? You said you'd put Miracle Whip on certain things.
On some things I will, yeah.
And I said I'd put mayo on certain
rehash.
things.
Let's
I'm
not
just,
rehash.
I think
Not here.
I think you're
this
just
is not the time, sir.
You know what? You're right. Thank you for watching, everybody. Good night.
Good night.